Hi, this is Jonathan Rosenhead, the Torah and Psychotherapist. This week's Torah and Psychology bonus of Matos-Masei is going to discuss a situation that I'm sure most, if not every parent, has come across, and that's one where their children fight with each other. And fighting can be in a range of different ways. It can be verbal, it can be physical. There's different extents of force that is used and the context of when the fighting occurs. Different siblings, perhaps, that fight more often with the other. And a parent is faced with a difficult situation in terms of how to respond to the fighting. They want to diffuse the situation. They want to try to understand what happened. And also there's an important element, which is punishment. Which child perhaps needs to be punished? And punishment in the realm of parenting is not a punitive act, but it's a tool, and maybe it's unfair or inappropriate to use the title punishment. Maybe it's an awkward use of the word, but at the end of the day, it's meant to express a means to teach the child consequences. That the child understands that because of their behavior, they are being given a certain punishment. There is a consequence to their action, and therefore they can learn from it. And that this is, at the end of the day, childhood is a time of learning. It's the field for learning and education, both formally and informally, both out of the home and school, and of course in the home as well, with their parents being their main teachers. And that therefore, when there's this fighting and arguing, and the parent needs to take into different variables, perhaps who initiated it, what's the age of the child, what's the context, what's the extent of force that was used, but what they want to do at the end of the day, once they've taken these variables into account, in a calm way, in an understanding way, give a punishment or a consequence to the child so they can learn from this. What can happen, which is an extra sort of level, even when the parent does give a punishment or a consequence, the other child may come along and say, that's not fair. They need to be punished in a certain way. And the child has this idea that they were so badly hurt and that the crime was so extreme that the child wants to tell the parent how their siblings should be punished. Tell them that they need to be punished in some extreme way, or whatever the punishment that the parent gave, the consequence that the parent gave, is not fitting to does not match up to the crime. But the parent understands. The parent is the one that understands that this is not a punitive act. This is not a punishment. That the child is saying he needs to be killed or he needs to be punished in whatever way. He has an extreme emotional response. The parent is coming from a more rational, understanding, responsible place. It's trying to teach the other child a consequence. And therefore, perhaps what they do is tell the child to go somewhere to sit quietly by themselves. Tell the child that they need to they remove the child from the situation, that they're put somewhere else, that they are maybe lose out on some sort of a privilege, some sort of a treat that they get sometimes. These are certain acts to help the child learn this is a consequence, not just a punitive punishment. And if we look at this week's parasha of the Orei Miklat, where one person accidentally kills another person, the Torah allows them gives them a place to flee. It gives them a place where they can go and live in order to escape the family of the murdered person who might come to take retribution, to kill him. That they want to give them the punishment that he deserves. This murderer should be killed. The Orei Miklat provides an opportunity, a place where the person can be safe. They accidentally killed him, and therefore he is given this refuge. And there's a discussion in Mefarshim, what is this ruling in the Torah, at least this opportunity that's given to an accidental murder, that they can go to an Orei Miklat. And we look at it, is it a punishment? There's two different suggestions. Is it a punishment, or is it a means? Is it a punishment, or is it a means of atonement in a sense? Is it to teach him a lesson? Is it allowing him to be able to, in a sense, pay for his crime, but not in a sense of what the family think, that he should be murdered, but instead he's given a place to go, a place to be by himself, a place that allows him to, in a sense, learn and take in the message of his actions, and he's learned that there are consequences to his behavior, even if it was accidental. And although the punishment of murder is not necessarily required, and instead the Torah affords him the opportunity to learn from the situation, to learn the consequence of his behavior, and therefore he stays in this Ari Miklat. And this is an important message for parenting, an important message for parents of how to conduct themselves. This obviously requires a certain level of self-control, a certain level of being calm and regulated in order to be able to understand the situation, in order to be able to view things through the right lens, just as that we have this understanding of the Ari Miklat through the lens of the Torah. It's understood that this person should be given an opportunity for kapara. It's an opportunity to be able to learn from his behavior, that there is a consequence, but that he doesn't need to be killed. And so too, this will help parents to teach their children to understand the concept of consequences, the concept of how to teach them in the right way, how to give out punishments in a sense, but as a learning opportunity for the child. Have a great Shabbos. Keep well.